Hello. I was always super excited when coming here, having a chat with you guys on Monday mornings. And today's topic is about being triggered by people's actions or inactions. Okay. And I just have a. Not sure if it's working. Apparently, I'm having connection issues. Anyway, if you're here live with me, please let me know. Let's hope it works. I'm just going to go ahead. So, the topic for today is being triggered by people's actions or inactions. Because that can bring up some intense emotions for us, isn't it? There's this intense frustration, annoyance. Maybe there's even anger there, or perhaps you're shutting down more. But it is intense. And it's often the situations that are perhaps, when we now look at them, when we're listening a few, looking at them in isolation, they feel like, maybe it's not such a big deal. But it is, and we'll talk about that why as well. But it's there's moments when someone said they will call you, but they don't, or they said they're going to stop in, but they didn't, or you come into the room and you say hello, but your friend kind of ignores you, he or she is just on their phone, or you have some leftovers in the fridge that are clearly labelled are yours, but someone else eats them. If you live in share accommodations, things happen, okay, or someone keeps putting on a song that's triggering for you, or slams the door, or slams those drawers. Some people are very noisy when they close drawers and things like that, and that is triggering to do. It really gives you this big emotional reaction. Okay, so maybe you can list them in the comments too, whatever it is there for you. It's slightly different for all of us, but there are situations like that. And what I think is the key here is that we explore what's actually underneath that. Okay, what fuels this intensity? And if you don't know me yet, I am Tanya Windecker, so I am a coach and I love doing this. I love peeling away the layers to look what's underneath so we can resolve what's underneath so it doesn't keep happening for us. So things like that are often easier to work with, whether you have a coach, a therapist, or mentor, whoever you work with, to discuss this with someone else. Or perhaps you have a good friend you can have that conversation with, because when we talk with other people, they can guide us, or there's some different questions and different perspectives can really help us to say, oh, that's what it is. Okay, but I'm going to give you some examples out of my life or my experience working with people, what often comes up from my training and things like that. They are quite common, so maybe you recognize one of them for yourself and think, oh, maybe that's what it is, that's what's underneath, that's what's fueling it, that's why it's so reactive. So let me know. But it's usually things more like feeling that feeling that this person doesn't care about me. I am not loved. I'm not lovable. I'm not worthy. I'm not valued. I'm not appreciated. I don't matter. Those kind of things are usually underneath all of that. So there's that situation. Can you see the difference? There's a situation of slamming a door, and they said, they don't care about me. There are two things that come together for us because of our past. Okay, so we always want to remind ourselves on that. But our brains are meaning-making machines. Okay, so when that happens, that person didn't look at you or ignored you or things like that, our mind instantly gives that a reason why that person did it. Whether we know the real reason or not, our mind throws us some. And usually for us, it's linked to our past traumas. Okay, that's why it is so intense for us. But if you explore one of those examples, for example, the one when we walk into the room and the other person kind of ignores us, doesn't pay attention to us. This is huge, that feeling ignored coming in. And when we're looking at it from the past, when the first time we felt like this usually it was in an abusive, in a toxic situation. We were still very little, where we would have really needed a parent's or a caregiver's attention, and we didn't receive it. So there was a safety and an abuse and neglect. So the intensity of emotions makes total sense at that age. But now fast forward to now in our adult life, the same emotional intensity for someone not looking or acknowledging you coming into the room is a bit out of proportion. So I often like to call it the 90-10 reactions. Okay, 90% of the fuel goes in the past and 10% is warranted for the situation right now. Because it does hurt, okay? It does, even whether you have PTSD or not. But someone, when you walk into a room and someone doesn't acknowledge you, that hurts. That hurts all of us. But we want to be able to get to a place where we can kind of stay calm enough within our window of tolerance so we can respond rather than react and have these explosions and I hate you kind of statements, you know. I want to try to avoid that. And initially we can't do that in the situation, but perhaps we can go back and in a few days and say, remember that day? You know, a couple of days ago when I walked into the room and I said hello and you didn't respond, and then I exploded. And see if that person is willing to have a conversation with you about this. And this is a moment where you will recognize whether these are people you want to spend more time with or less, okay? A nurturing, caring friend, someone who has your best interest at heart, is willing to have that conversation. A toxic person, not so. And then you just know, okay, I will spend the least amount of time that I have to. You know, sometimes if it's relatives or siblings, it's going to be more difficult. And this, by the way, is different too. If I'm not talking about being triggered by your toddler being noisy, which can happen too. This is very different. So I'm talking more the adult relationships where we can actually have that conversation with that person and say, look, this is what's happening for me. When I walk in and you don't look at me, it feels to me like, oh, I don't matter to you, and it really hurts me. And I'm just curious, what is actually going on for you there? You know, and then they can give you their perspective. Perhaps it had nothing to do with me. Perhaps this person was just really stuck in their own story, in their own drama, in their own head, you know, ruminating about certain things, and were not able to even notice me coming in. Perhaps they were so busy on their phone that they didn't see me coming in. So it's a whole different thing. So knowing that, then it can help us change the perspective that it wasn't so much about that person doesn't care about me. There was things going on for them as well. But when we know what's underneath, whether this is I don't feel valued, or I don't feel appreciated or loved, or people don't like I don't matter. When we know what it is, we can look in our life and it's like, okay, how else can I fill that need? Because they're human needs. We all want to feel like we can contribute. We all want to feel like that we matter to another person. But how else can I make that happen in that relationship? And that's where it's important that we are able to have those deeper conversations with people. Okay. And when they are friends and families there. So, I think I do have notes today. I always do. But I think that was the key I wanted to share, to really, when something triggers those strong emotions for you, to really, when you're back within that window of tolerance, that you're able to just sit a little bit and peel it back a little bit and look, what is underneath that? When is it the first time I felt like this in my life? So you know where the intensity comes from, and then you can think about how else can I meet that need of whatever it is there for you. So that's what I had to share with you guys today, and I'm always looking forward to hearing your thoughts on that and what's coming up for you as I share that with you guys, and some ways that you help yourself in those kind of situations, so we can all learn from each other. So thank you as always for being here, and sending you a lot of love and rainbows to brighten up the tough times just a little. See you guys, bye.